It's time to plan our next attack. What's the state of the Inquisition?
We're well loved in Orlais. Say the words and Empress Celine will send her support.
And your actions at Adamant denied Corypheus his army of pet demons. With Orlay's support, our numbers match his. Corypheus's followers must be panicking.
My agents agree. Our victories have shaken his disciples.
Perhaps they'll rethink following the Darkspawn Magister from the dawn of time. Where is Corypheus now?
After you dealt with the Duchess, Corypheus uprooted his major strongholds. He's moving south to the Arbor Wilds. His army clearly wasn't prepared to flee. Our victories have them on the defensive.
They've terrorized Thedas long enough. We end them now. If Corypheus is hiding in the Arbor Wilds, that's where we'll go.
But what is Corypheus doing in such a remote area?
His people have been ransacking elven ruins since Haven. We believe he seeks more. What he hopes to find, however, continues to elude us.
Which should surprise no one. Fortunately, I can assist.
You have my attention, Lady Morrigan.
What Corypheus seeks in those Forgotten Woods is as ancient as it is dangerous.
Which is?
'Tis best if I show you.
Do I have to now? I wanted to do operations, huh?
This is an Illuvian, an elven artifact from a time long before their empire was lost to human greed. I restored this one at great cost, but another lies within the Arbor Wilds. That is what Corypheus seeks.
You can restore an artifact like this?
There was a price, but one I gladly paid. I found legends of an elven temple within the Arbor Wilds, untouched. It proved too dangerous to approach, and thus I turned elsewhere to find my prize. If Corypheus has turned southward, he could succeed where I failed. The Illuvian would be his.
What does it do?
A more appropriate question would be, where does it lead? If this place once had a name, it has long been lost. I call it the Crossroads, a place where all Illuvians join, wherever they might be.
This one looked much different than in the Veil Guard.
Is this place dangerous? It feels...
Unnatural, yes. We are, however, in no immediate peril. The ancient elves left no roads, only ruins hidden in far-flung corners. This is how they traveled between them. As you can see, most of the mirrors are dark, broken, corrupted, or unusable. As for the rest, a few can be opened from this side, but only a few.
How did you find out about this place?
My travels have led me to many strange destinations, Inquisitor. Once, they led me here. It offered sanctuary.
Sanctuary?
Not all the mirrors lead back to our world. The ancients were nothing if not resourceful.
If they don't lead back to our world, then...
Places between, like this one. I can describe it no better. For a time, I had a respite with the man I loved. For a time, I had a safe place to raise my son. But only for a time. One cannot remain in between forever.
What do you mean a few can be opened from this side?
Some of the Illuvians have been left unlocked, like doors accidentally left ajar. All others are closed. They can be opened only from beyond.
Opened how?
With a key.
I suppose you have such a key?
The key can be many things. Each Illuvian is different. I have knowledge as well as power. Often that is enough.
Corypheus wants to come here.
This is not the Fade, but it is very close. Someone with enough power could tear down the ancient barriers.
And enter the Fade in the flesh, like Corypheus wanted to do with the anchor.
He learned of the Illuvian in the Arbor Wilds as I did. He marshals the last of his forces to reach it. You have made Corypheus desperate, Inquisitor. We must work together to stop him, and soon.
Okay, on the last episode we had Tom Rainier. Tom Rainier is how he's pronounced, I think. Here to judge him because he lied to be Blackwall, and he was responsible as a commander for leading his men without telling them to kill one commander and his family who were supporting Empress Selene of Orlais. And they wanted him dead. We intervened to save him, and we forgave him and let him stay in the Inquisition, but only as Tom Rainier, not as Blackwall. So what we're gonna do now is talk to him to see what he has to say about it. But I also have one let's see, ability points. This is actually from from the Inquisition perk that I have unlocked. Well, let me see. This one is the next one, yeah. The effects of your elixirs last longer if you activate one immediately after another expires. I'm not doing that often, but I get dexterity upon using it, so let me do that. Alright, now let's talk to Tom Rainier.
Is this what war is
Oh,
like?
Fairbanks is now here. I wasn't expecting that, but yeah, you're right, he said he was...
Spymaster.
Interesting. That's right, he was going to join us. Tom?
Inquisitor?
How shall I refer to you? Rainier or Blackwall?
I've gotten used to Blackwall. Perhaps we could treat it as less of a name and more of a title. Almost like Inquisitor. Reminds me of what I ought to be.
True.
Everyone needs something to aspire to.
Exactly. I'm glad you understand.
Well, we can call him Blackwall as well. No worries, that's fine.
Nothing right now. Perhaps in a bit.
Alright then. That was everything. I don't think there's any quest here to do apart from that. Yeah, that means we go to the war table, to operations. And yeah, then we go to Emprise de Lyon, to pronounce it in French, because it is a French name. I mean, it's in Orlais, so most of the names will be in French probably, because Orlais is inspired by France and the French language. As you can also see when you talk to anyone from Orlais, when they have a French accent. Alright then, let's see what kind of operations we have. I did have one cutscene the first time I entered here, since we're in Act 3. The one which I have put before starting this episode, actually at the beginning of this episode, while we were talking to Morrigan. This actually happened the first time I entered the war table before judging Tom Rainier. but I put it on at the beginning of this episode because I felt it was more fitting. And that's also where we got the Inquisition perk from, as you have seen there. So yeah. No, actually we got the Inquisition perk from when I entered the second time to go and do the operation for Tom Rainier in the last episode. Alright. So I didn't have to mention this actually, but you know, now you have. Let's go. That was fast. Usually takes like over a minute to get there, to open the table. But it's fine. Now let's go through all of those operations. Favor returned. Ambassador Montelier, it was lovely to see you at the Winter Palace. Your presence in our court is like the emergence of the first lilies in spring. In the spirit of friendship, I am offering the Inquisition a unique opportunity. You may be aware that King Wilhelm of the Underfells is about to celebrate the 3rd birthday of his only son, Prince Baldwin. The festivities will be quite lavish, and representatives from nearly every court in Thedas will be bringing gifts. Wilhelm is an exceedingly pious man, even for an Ander. A gift from the Herald of Andraste delivered to the party could earn the undying approbation of the Underfells. With regards, Celine Valmont. I know exactly what to send, we need only a messenger. Alright, Josie, I trust you in this.
Let us begin.
My dear Ambassador, please convey our heartfelt thanks to the Herald for the kind gift to young Baldwin. Andraste and the Wyvern is his favorite bedtime story, and the stuffed Wyvern toy has already become his most favorite companion. We are shocked that news of the Inquisition's formation did not reach us for so long. We would be most interested in offering our support for your holy cause and shall be sending an emissary directly. Cordially, Wilhelm Augustine. P.S. Enclosed is a drawing young Baldwin has done of himself and the Herald riding wyverns. Oh, nice. I am to convey that his wyvern's name is Bernd and the Herald's is Otto. Nice. Alright. And this is a follow-up on House Amladaris, is it? Or maybe it was there before. Dorian has completed his research using the Liberalum and believes he has found a connection between Corypheus and an ancient magister named Sethius of House Amladaris. This will be difficult to prove and may be of limited use, but it's worth noting that House Amladaris still exists. Even the accusation of that Corypheus and Sethius are the same person would be worthy of a scandal in Tevinter, one that the current members of the family might be desperate to avoid. Josephine, blackmail them. They would undoubtedly do the same to us if our positions were reversed. Liliana, send them the information as a gesture of goodwill. Let's see what they do with it. Colin, every Tevinter house has enemies. Sell the information to one of them. I go with Liliana. I play the nice part in this.
Inquisitor.
Quiet message arrived from House Amladaris today. Considering the speed of the response, it seems hard to believe the family had no knowledge of what Dorian found in the book. I wonder how long they've sat upon the secrets, wondering if it might someday come to light. Liliana. The quiet message, my dear Inquisitor. We are most appreciative of the information you provided. How scandalous to think there might be any connection between our house and those friends, those fiends of legend. It's not true, of course, and to reassure you on that point, I intend to dedicate my family toward helping the Inquisition in its righteous struggle. Yours in faith, Magister Irian of House Amladaris. Alright. Exactly what I was hoping for it would happen. Okay, next one. The consequences of Blackwater's lie. Ah, yeah, right. Let's see. A letter written in fine hand and lightly scented, signed by Josephine. The issue of Tom Rainier has been settled, but his deception has had far-reaching consequences. Had we not used the Grey Warden treaties, we might not have found ourselves in so awkward a position. As it is, I receive daily messages from all quarters demanding we make reparations. We must do something. Scribbled beneath, signed by Colin. I'm sorry, did we embarrass the Duchess at a soiree by stepping on her gown? Or was the sky torn open and Haven beset by an ancient darkspawn magister? We needed the gold. We needed the men. You would have persuaded someone to part with them, with or without the treaties. We're not making reparations for doing what we had to do. What no one else could have done. Don't forget, we are now allied with the Wardens. If we had no authority to conscript before, we do now. Josephine, do we want the Inquisition to survive beyond Corypheus' defeat? We won't always be at war. Why alienate allies when it would take so little to appease them? Let us return what was taken under false pretense and put these treaties aside. Colin, we step forward, not back. No apologies. What happens with the Wardens gives us more authority than ever to use the treaties. I know of Colin's motivation. I know what he I understand it, but I go for Josie nonetheless, because I think it might be worth having the Inquisition after the fight against Corypheus as well.
At your service.
We have sent emissaries with formal apologies. We returned all that could be returned. We paid in kind for what could not. Liliana will store the Grey Warden treaties in the Skyhold archives in remembrance of mistakes made and lessons learned. Josephine. Alright, what will be the next? All those impacted by the Civil War. The Imperial Army will aid the Inquisition's forces against Corypheus, but they must also address lingering issues at home. Weaknesses in the Vale, no doubt heightened due to rifts, have resulted in demons on the road between Valforet and Montsimard. This would demand a call to action at the best of times. Unfortunately, the increased number of travelers on the roads, merchants attempting to restore trade and displaced civilians returning home after the war, has made the situation worse. The head of the Imperial Army has requested assistance from the Inquisition in subduing this threat. Josephine, merchants often travel with armed escorts, but civilians require safe shelter. We could petition the Chantry for aid on their behalf. Liliana, I doubt the army needs the assistance of a full complement of soldiers. My agents can scout the roads and divert travelers away from the worst areas. Colin, a chance to solidify our alliance and prove ourselves their equal. A joint venture will also increase our understanding of Imperial Army structure and tactics. I think I'll go with Colin in this case, yeah. A letter marked with the Chevalier seal. It was an honor to fight alongside the soldiers of the Inquisition. The demons stood little chance. You run an impressive army, Commander. Nothing seals an alliance like the bonds formed in battle. May we find similar victories together in future. Chevalier Doucet. I thought it might be the best to let them fight together, because, as he said, that works best to combine to make an alliance. Unmask those across the sea. I had our people remove the downward-pointing triangular symbols from our posts. They have not made a reappearance, which means little. It's clear someone has an interest in the Inquisition, someone organized, with ties to those across the sea. We've eliminated the Cunari as the most obvious suspects. Nonetheless, knowing who they are not does not tell us who they are, what they are doing, or why. They are clever, we know that, and they have resources, but so do we, and they should learn that they are not to toy with the Inquisition. Liliana, if our investigations have any hope of succeeding, we'll have to strike hard and fast, before they even know we're looking. A coordinated effort hitting all the leads we have at once. Colin, this is pointless. I won't commit our forces to hunting a shadowy cabal obsessed with little chalk drawings. I say we forget this and focus on Corypheus. I'll go with Liliana, just to get rid of it. Compliments to your spy master. She's a resourceful woman. Once she traced our agent to Cayman Brea, the match was ruled in her favor. Tell Sister Liliana to call off her dogs, save them for Corypheus. We suspect also that she has gotten all she can from Sir Helmuth. A caterpillar on a leaf does not know there is a forest about him. You will hear no more from us. Our intention was to watch, and we have seen enough. Corypheus threatens us all, and the Inquisition estate us as only hope for stopping him. Remember that, for the moment, we are not your enemy. As a gesture of goodwill, we share our knowledge. May it prove valuable in your coming battle. On behalf of powers across the sea, the Executors. The Executors? Isn't that also like those ones from the Veil Guard who are acting in the shadows, and sometimes they were talking to Rook? I believe so. Master Demon Slaying Room, that's nice, I'll take it. Next one, negotiate a deal for weapon plans. I recently became aware of a talented and inventive young blacksmith from the Underfells. Once we were introduced to my extensive connections, I negotiated a deal to obtain his weapon plans for the Inquisition. Unfortunately, I have just now been outbid by a nobleman from Voldemar who maintains a private army. I would hate to lose those designs. Is there anything we can do? Sir Morris, Quartermaster. Josephine, I could attempt to find a compromise. Knowledge can be shared after all. I'm sure the nobleman will be reasonable. Liliana, the Inquisition's need is greater. Leave this to me. I will have this nobleman persuaded. I'll go with Josie. I was unable to reach a compromise with Tevinter. Damn it. I thought it would be better to go with this. I suppose our influence does stretch only so far. He did, however, offer his apologies and made us a gift of some rare materials. I will keep our negotiations open, but it does not look promising. I should have gone with Liliana. well, now it's too late. Truth or dare, the endgame. Ambassador Montilier. We have never met, but I believe you have, through discreet means, saved me from a most disagreeable connection. As I dislike being indebted to anyone, I shall endeavor to repay you with a news item of some interest. Were you aware that the Grand Duchess of Leeds recently paid a visit to Lake Celestine? Indeed, she stayed an entire fortnight as a guest of Duke Alvin Blancard of Valmontaigne. In light of her other connections and the curious amount of coin which spread across the region in the aftermath, you may wish to pay him a call. Sincerely, Duke Valère Fontaine. Josephine, if Duke Blanchard was conspiring with Florian, the Imperial Court would like to know. Liliana, send our agents in. We can expose his connection to Florian for all the world to see. Let's go with Josephine. We want to keep favor with the Orlesians. Ambassador, following the arrival of your letter, I invited my dear cousin Blanchard to Hallam-Shorel for an urgent consultation on the Inquisition, during which time I had his home thoroughly searched. A large sum of Tevinter gold was found in his chateau, as well as a room full of lardlirium. My cousin finds his stay at the Winter Palaces shall be of some duration. Many thanks, Celine Valmont. And they have an amulet of power for Vivian, I think, because it showed Vivian's picture in the background. Support Cassandra. The Inquisition will have to provide any support for Cassandra as the Chantry's voice for the next Divine Quietly. Traditionally, the Chantry looks on open declarations with derision, so they can be counterproductive. But a few words in the right ears can be very effective. Note, once the Inquisition gives its support, it cannot also give support to anyone else. I'll go with her, because I think she's the best option. Yeah. Liliana would be fine. I think she would, well, handle the chaos. But if we don't need to have the chaos, then Cassandra is probably the best option. Only Vivian should not be it, because I think that's the wrong decision to go back to the circles as they were. Josephine, I know just the people to inform. With the application of some political pressure, your point can easily be made.
Inquisitor?
News of your support for Cassandra has made its way to the clerics sequestered in the Grand Cathedral, Inquisitor. Just how much it will influence the decision remains to be seen. Accept. Alliances with angered eyes. It has come to violence. Lord de Rosier has directly challenged the holdings of our ally, Lady Thibault. He claims their ties to the Inquisition are to blame for his loss of honor, which is technically true. His militia is poised to threaten several trade outposts through his will to attack may not be absolute. Lady Richelieu offers a barrage of names to clarify. Despite being ostracized, Lord de Rosier retains many allies. While you can certainly hold him at bay, perhaps we should revisit another course. Uniting his house and that of your allied Thibault might both appease and profit all involved. The daughter, Celeste Thibault, is still betrothed to Eleandre, but this is War of Swords. In such times, is not personal sacrifice preferable to bloodshed? It is, in fact, the only wise outcome, and I have already begun preparations. Are we understood? In expectation, Lady Eustace Richelieu. Josephine, I expect that while it will not please all involved, asking for a marriage to end this would be quickly agreed to by all parties. It is a language they all understand, Inquisitor. They have no teeth for fighting. Liliana, should we commit lives to this mess? If we withdraw, our original goal is achieved. They are fractured. None of this group is a threat. Colin, we have the manpower to thwart Lord de Rosier. We chose a course and we can see it through. That's the thing. The thing is, if I would go with Josephine, the daughter Celeste Thibault is still betrothed to Eleandre, but this is War of Swords. I think I'll have to go with that, just to appease them. Our observers of the conflict between the Orlesian noble houses reports that the Eleandre family has responded to our appeal. While not the most desirable outcome, an arranged marriage to solidify peace is far from the worst possibility. Celeste Thibault will speak to no one. We have received 2 letters on the matter. The first is in strictest confidence. Josephine, from Lady Vélise Thibault, my daughter will comply with this pairing. We are all servants of our chosen world, but it serves us as well. I lack the standing to challenge this, so I ask that it be remembered that it is her name stabilizing this conflict. It conveys power that should not be misdirected to matchmakers. from Lady Richelieu. Of course, this was the outcome. It is the only sensible one. Arrangements will be made for a proper ceremony. In the capital, of course. Lord de Rosier will be a valiant groom for as long as his heart holds out. And young Celeste will be a most amiable figurehead of alliance. Alright. An offer from the Imperial Army. A letter marked with a Chevalier seal. Commander, I understand your soldiers intend to pursue a party of Red Templars into the woods surrounding Val Foret. We have not forgotten your assistance against the demons, and are we not sworn to aid your fight against Corypheus? Let us take up arms and cast these Templars out. Chevalier Doucet. Cullen, our resources alone would only have allowed for small sweeps of the area. With the Imperial Army's assistance, we may entirely root the Red Templars from the region. Let's go.
To work?
Commander, a fine victory. May our enemies feel its sting. Chevalier Doucet. Next one, capitalize on alliance with Fairbanks. I've been told that the Council of Heralds has reviewed the evidence and now recognizes Everist Lamarck, known to us till now as Fairbanks, as the sole heir of Lord Giroux Lamarck. All holdings and chateaux retained by the Lamarck noble house have now reverted to the ownership of Lord Everist Lamarck. I smell an opportunity. Josephine. Josephine, a rebel helping the helpless, fighting the enemies of the Empire, and all the while hiding the secret of his noble blood. It makes for a romantic story, and the legions love their romance. Sir Lord Everist writes, and we'll have all the wealthy ladies of Southern Orlais eating out of his hands and ours. Liliana, Lord Everist Lamarck, I would like to see how he fares at court. The game is merciless, and even its best players often falter. A forest-dwelling lunar? He'll be butchered, but given an easy target, predators often become arrogant and expose their weaknesses. We'll be watching. Colin. As I understand it, Fairbanks never wanted to acknowledge who he was. It was you who allowed word of his heritage to be revealed to the Council of Heralds. I say we leave him alone. Let him retain his privacy, what little is left. I will keep his privacy, but since he has all the money now, he can still help those people. So let's do that.
All right.
Fairbanks continues to impress. He's settled in a modest but well-appointed house close to the Dales, and dedicated at least half of his grandfather's treasury to helping people rebuild their lives after the war. Cullen. That's nice. That's exactly what I hoped he was doing. Dance with the Dowager, the Alamand. My dear Inquisitor Eveline, there was no time for us to dance in the Winter Palace, but perhaps I might claim the dance you offered now. You may not be familiar with the Alamand. It is the prelude to every great movement in music and in the game. I would be happy to teach you the steps. Is that the one woman that we asked for a dance? Marquise Montillon? It's possible. I don't remember her name, but it's possible. To begin, the couples from the lines facing one another, south of the Imperial Highway between Virgil and Montsimart, is the Elan Basin. It is a beautiful place of walnuts, walnut groves, hollyhocks, and fifth-rate meaderies that recently lost its lord to the Civil War. On the western edge of Elan, the hopeful young Comte de Poisson stands, lining up his little toy soldiers for a quick and quiet invasion. Surely you would not leave the poor boy without a dance partner? If the Inquisition defends Lordless Elan Basson, probably Basson, it might perhaps be considered your property. Be mindful of the steps, my dear. Cordially, Marquise Montillon. Josephine, we can take the Dowager's opportunity in a more subtle way if we directly speak to the Comte. Colin, Elan is a small bassin. Small basin. It's not the name. Okay. It's a basin. I thought it was just a French name again. We can easily send in enough troops to defend it from attack. I will ask Josie, because I don't want to do it against his will.
At your service.
To the leadership of the Inquisition, it comes as a great shock to me that the organization that claims to be defending us from the breach holds an interest in walnuts farming. Perhaps you intend to throw unshelled nuts into the sky to repel demons? Truly, such matters are beyond my expertise. If you have a legitimate claim to Elan, I should like to hear it. Comte Marius de Poisson. Wanted to help, not like that, but okay. We have a new one, Dance with the Dowager, the Courant. My dear Inquisitor, you dance as beautifully as I remembered. Are you ready for the second movement? The Allemande is typically followed by a Courant, in which the steps are much faster, almost running. I think we should go all for Josephine in this case, because she's the master ambassador. The Comte de Poisson so enjoyed your last maneuver that he is now racing to petition the Council of Heralds for recognition of his claim to Elen. I was the first one he contacted, of course, because while the young man is prone to missteps, he's not a complete fool. He's very likely to reach out to Duke Cyril de Montfort or Duke Germain next. Cyril is the youngest and most persuadable of the Council, and Germain, I'm not sure. Sorry if I always pronounce names wrong, but it's difficult, is the oldest and most likely to support the claim of any old Olesian nobility over the donation of lands to a new Andrastian cause. You should make your own move, allegrissimo. Cordially, Marquise Montillon. Josephine, the Duke of Ghislaine already has connections to us. We could speak with him first. Liliana, Comtesse Montpellier, the Silver Lady of Chourneau is our best ally here. Cullen, we should speak with Duke Cyril. By all accounts, he is reasonable. We could win him to our side. I'll go with Josie.
Inquisitor.
To whom it concerns, we, the Council of Heralds, declare the Elan Basin the holdings of the Inquisition, and all revenues and oaths from these lands should be tendered thus as to a title lord until such time as the Inquisition is dissolved or the holdings lawfully granted elsewhere. Perfect. That was the best outcome for us, I think. Signed, Marquise Montillon, Cyril de Montfort, Etienne de Chevin, Lothaire Ducy, Solange Montpellier, Laurent de Ghislaine, Germain, whatever, de Chalon. Perfect. Investigate Avon Ruins? What is this exactly? I think this is something for... Oh, we might be able to enter a new area there. Investigate Elven Ruins. Inquisition contacts report a group of elves investigating ruins in the Emerald Graves. The ruins may be connected to the Emerald Knights, an order of elven warriors that predates the fall of the Dales. The history contained within would be of great value to the Dalish. The Emerald Graves has been experienced unrest of late. If a small delegation met with the elves and offered assistance in their search, it could provide an opportunity for cooperation between the Inquisition and the Dalish, strengthening our reputation with the clans and Olay. I have to go with force in this case. If few of our soldiers are scouting nearby, we can divert them to the elf's location. Few of our soldiers met with the elves at Dinan Hanin, the elven ruins and the Emerald Graves. The leader, Tevan, wishes to work with us as a sign of cooperation between the Inquisition and his clan. However, some of his party are wary of our presence and the Inquisition's intentions. Our interest in strengthening our relationship with the Dalish would appear more genuine if you met with them in person, alright? Maybe I have to go there. The resources? I think we don't have to do that now. Let me see the operations here. Aiding Kirkwall. The tumult of the Mage Rebellion has been quelled. However, the city where it all began, Kirkwall, still suffers from the consequences of the fanatic Anders' actions. Kirkwall was once my home. It was the home of Grand Cleric Athena, who was a mother to me and so many others. I will not watch it languish. Starkhaven will soon embark on a mission of 8. We will send troops and workers to assist in the rebuilding and restoration of the city. I humbly entreat the Inquisition for help in this endeavor. Sebastian Vale. Of course, we're going to help Sebastian out on this. Josephine, I will plead for assistance from our supporters around Thedas. Restoring Kirkwall, a symbol of all that's happened, could be a significant act that cements our alliances. Liliana, Corypheus is still threatening Thedas. Kirkwall has survived this long, it could do for a while longer. Sorry, Liliana, but we will help. Cullen, Red Lyrium may present an obstacle to rebuilding the city. Our soldiers can assist in its removal. Let's go. Rebuilding efforts are progressing well, but there's little we can do about the Red Lyrium. It seems impossible to destroy. I was able to destroy Red Lyrium deposits by just clicking on them. So weird. The gallows where it is most concentrated must be placed under quarantine. Our soldiers are handling it as we speak. Cullen. The Knight's Second. And there's one more left here, continuing her predecessor's work. In neatly filed request form, copied in triplicate and delivered to the appropriate parties. Request an assortment of flora from southern Ferelden and eastern Olay, including several uncommon varieties. See attached list. Tissue samples from several common herbivores. See attached list. Access to an accurate map of southern Thedas and records salvaged from Haven. Purpose: my predecessor Minave was studying alterations in feeding and migration patterns in several species following the appearance of the breach. Her work was left incomplete. I would finish it. Signed, Helisma Rington Inquisition researcher. Yeah, that's the one. How do you say it? What was the name? When the mages are tranquil. This is the tranquil one. One of the tranquil mages that we have in our ranks. The one that we spoke to, and we can put our research into the table next to her. That was it. Josephine, I can contact the University of LA to see if they have additional materials to aid Helisma's research. Liliana, it would be faster to purchase the missing items than hunt them down. My agents can seek reliable sources in Val Rayo. Colin, our soldiers can gather any outstanding items. It will double as a training exercise for our newer recruits. I think we can look for it ourselves.
All right.
A formally submitted report. Current progress and findings. Certain herbivores appear especially sensitive to disruptions caused by the rifts. Migration and mating habits have been impacted. Ramifications on predator behavior apparent, but warrant further study. Additional notes: in studying alterations in animal behavior, I have uncovered something the Inquisition soldiers may find useful. Human behavior is similarly unpredictable. Okay, I will continue to pursue this line of research until otherwise notified. Signed, Helisma Durrington, Inquisition researcher. Corrupting rune. Okay. Oh, one more here. Delicate negotiations. Inquisitor, here's the thing. Oh, Alistair. I don't even own a mask. Thus, when the Olesian Empress invites me to engage in real peace talks, I get nervous. I don't know what Olesians mean when they say that, but I hear it involves poison and dancing. Perhaps both at the same time. I'm told you know Empress Celine, and she owes you for the whole saved your life business. Considering you also helped save mine, perhaps the Inquisition could help make these talks happen. Of course, Josephine is the best for us. There's a great deal of bad blood between these nations, but I will do my best to facilitate the talks. Talks between Ferelden and Orlais took place in Jader, and it was not easy to keep matters from spiraling out of control. King Alistair is no diplomat after all. Why didn't he send Queen Eleonora? She's the better diplomat, I think. After all, and had little patience for the endless fanfare. Thankfully, the Olesians are uninterested in more war, and we were able to smooth the way toward an eventual peace treaty. The king sent along a sword that once belonged to the Ferelden hero King Cailan had, as thanks for what the Inquisition helped create. Nice. Avenger, okay. I think there's nothing left, so let me go back and check out this Elven ruins before we go to Emprise de Lyon, because I want to do everything in order, and this one came before.